script book. A script book, which is a binder that's going to have your scripts in it. It's going to have some of your sample paperwork. If you have one, this is the time when we're going to use your paperwork, your scripts, and so forth. If you don't have a script book, you've never developed a script book, raise your hand, and we're going to give you a packet. And then we're going to teach you how to develop a script book. And the second thing we're going to do is we're going to give you a script book cover. We're going to give you a cover that looks like this. And the only way you can get this script book cover is by coming to a Secrets of Success training. And I know some of you, you're so generous and you're so nice. And what you'll do is you'll leave and you'll go make copies of the script book cover. And you'll want to hand it out to your people so that you can help them and you can prepare them. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't make copies of it. Where's the only place they can get one? SOS training. Make them come to the training and get it like you did. Make them come to the training like you did. I'll tell you, my parents did some great things for me over the course of my life. But one of the things that was exceptional that they did, you know what? The fact that it was harder for me, like my parents didn't buy me my first car. If your parents did, that's great. But that didn't happen for me. You know what? It just made me have to go do it myself. A lot of things I had to do myself, which made me stronger and better and more resourceful and put me in a position that I had to figure it out and find a way. You're not doing your people a service. Like I had somebody one time made a bunch of books for people. Listen to me. If you cannot go to a Staples or an Office Depot, if you can't do that and get a half-inch binder like this, if you can't go to Office Depot or Staples or Office Max to get a half-inch binder, I got to let you know. The chances of you being financially independent are highly unlikely. Highly unlikely if you can't get a binder like this for your business, and if you can't get some plastic sleeves, because that's the best way to do it, and slide your paperwork into your plastic sleeves and put them in your script book. You should only be allowed to come to one SOS training without a script book. Every time after this, bring your script book with you to the SOS training. Always bring your script book with you. I don't allow people I personally sponsor to come to a training without a script book. I don't allow people who I personally sponsored to come to a training without a script book. Now, of course, if you just came here last night for the first time, that's understandable. If you signed up 2 days ago, that's understandable. If you signed up this past week, understandable. But listen, if you've been in the business for a month or 2 months and you don't have a script book, that ain't good. It ain't good. You should have one, okay? But you're learning that. That's why you're here, so you can learn that. Because sometimes, listen, your upline, they're learning too. This is what you got to realize. Sometimes your upline, they're doing the best they can, but they're still learning. They're still going through the process. They're still getting it all down. So they're not going to do everything perfect. That's why, what are they doing smart? Getting you here. So you can get 100% of the right information. But you got to take it serious, because you think when an actor or an actress who makes $10 million a year, they get a script. They study the script. They learn the script. And I can assure you it's a lot more pages than that script thing you got in front of you. Your packet, which is what, this big? How many think a script for a movie is a little bigger than this? This is your packet. This is what you got to know. You got to know this stuff inside and out. So the first thing you're looking at is your initial contact list, which is going to come for your new people. Now, this is going to come in your starter pack, because one of the cool things about this, when you first get it, you can make copies like this, but what I suggest is you get them in your starter pack, because what happens is it comes in 2 parts. Because in some instances, when you're sitting down with somebody, one-on-one with them, and you're going through who are your contacts, and then I get them to put down some of the possible accounts, meaning who do you know in real estate? Who do you know in the mortgage business? Who do you know in the car business? Who do you know that deals with people in credit-related industries? Do you know a bankruptcy attorney? Those kinds of things, they start putting down a few of those people, and then I say, look, who are some of the easiest people to talk to? Who's somebody that we could call right now and just look to expose them to the video? And they start making a list of some of those folks. Now what we've got is they have a list, and they could tear it off, and I have a list. I also have their list, which is extremely valuable. So that's why in this case it's great. Now, of course, if I'm working with somebody long distance, I'm not in front of them, I'm on the phone, I can't tear it off. But what I can do, which I always do, is I have them take a picture of it and I have them send it to me. I want to see it so I can go over it with them. Who are they talking to? I don't like to talk in theory. A lot of people do that. That's why when we cover what we call the Players Club here, everything I like on paper, or I like it somewhere that I could see it in email. I don't like to talk in theory. I'm talking to a lot of people. Put names. A lot of people doesn't mean anything to me. Who are a lot of people? What are their names? What do you know about them? What have you shown them so far? That's how we can get a clear-cut definition about what's happening. A lot, a ton, everybody, that means nothing. There has to have a name. Who is it? And that's what this form allows you to do. Now, when you think about your list, when it comes to potential agents, because on your list, you have potential accounts, right? People that maybe you could do business with who need credit-worthy clients, like a realtor, like somebody in the mortgage business, and so forth. Then, of course, you have potential customers, which are going to come from people that you share the opportunity with, because obviously, if they're not interested in the opportunity, they still can be customers. But then, let's look at agents for a second, because that's what we're focused on, getting agents. Now, the people that you know break down into 3 categories. Category A, the people you look up to. Now, who could those be? Well, they could be coaches that you've had in your life, or mentors you had in your life, maybe people you work for, a boss or something like that. Certain family members could be people you look up to. Somebody that's just older, maybe an older generation you have a lot of respect for. Successful people and business owners. If you know people like that, as you're making your list, you're going to be categorizing them into that A category, because you're going to speak to them a little bit differently than you would speak to the next category, your equal peers. Like you have your closest friends, your classmates, your coworkers, certain family members that you're very close to, a sister or brother that you're very close to. And just the easiest people to talk to, the people you hang out with the most, your best buddies and things of that nature. Because you're going to talk to them different than you would talk to these people, wouldn't you? See, one thing I've learned over the course of my career is if you're talking to everyone the same, if you're treating everyone the same, you're treating them wrong. You have to adapt and adjust to their personality and to your relationship with them. And then you have people that look up to you. You may work in a career where you have some folks that work for you. They may look up to you, or a younger generation, or a colleague, or places that you go, that you patronize, right? A certain restaurant you eat at all the time, that somebody may see you in there and they see you as successful. They look up to you. Now, you're going to talk to them a little bit differently than you would talk to your best buddy or somebody that you look up to. Now, all of this is going to lead into the scripts, okay? You have 3 kinds of scripts, which is in your packet. You have the opinion script, you have the peer script, and you have the assumption script. The reason why you have an opinion script is because when you look up to somebody, it makes a lot of sense that you would ask for their opinion. And no different than what I said with my friend who's a doctor. So even though we're good friends, and even though that we have a lot in common and we talk about a lot of things, I have a lot of respect for him and his success and what he's done. So I approached him with the opinion script. And I'll do that with the right people. And so if you follow the script as you look at it, what is your goal? Your goal is to get people in front of the quick video. Your goal is to get them more detailed information if that's what they're looking for. But you're just looking to see if they have any interest at all in what you're doing. When you call somebody up on the phone, and it's just a conversation, a normal conversation. So if I'm calling up Kevin on the phone, and he's somebody I look up to, I say, hey, Kevin, how are you? It's Greg. You got a quick minute? And if he says, no, you know what, Greg, I saw you were calling. Listen, I can't talk right now. I'd say, hey, Kev, when would be a good time that I could call you back? I really want to get your thoughts on something. Normal conversation, right? He goes, well, can you call me back today at 3 o'clock? Perfect. You know what? I'm going to make sure that I do that. And then if he says, yeah, I got a quick minute, no problem. I say, hey, listen, Kevin, I know you're super busy. Look, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I really just want to get your thoughts on something. You think you could just give me your opinion? I want to send you a quick video. It's real short. It's 5 minutes. And then just give me your honest feedback on it. You think you could do that? It's all in how I do it, my tone. If you use the right tone, you're going to get a positive response, because in that instance, go, yeah, sure. But there's only 1 or 2 things that are usually going to happen. One, he's going to say sure, or he's going to maybe ask me a question or two, right? He's going to try to ask me a question. Well, what is it all about, or what do you need my opinion on? You can say, hey, let me ask you a question, Kevin. You know, how many people out there today have less than perfect credit? How many people have a considerable amount of debt? What would most people say if they were asked that question? A lot of people, right? Everybody, certainly a good portion of society. If you were talking to somebody who maybe had no debt and they were financially independent, they still would say, well, there's a lot of people out there, I'm sure, that are in that situation. And of course, you might even have people that you look up to that might even say something like, man, you know what? Hey, I'm one of those people. You never know, but you're more than likely going to get a positive response to that question. And then, of course, you say, you know, exactly, listen. And that's why I wanted you to take a look at this. If you could just take 5 minutes, love to get your feedback on it. When do you think you'll be able to take a look at it? And what if they persist? What if they continue on? What if they try to even ask you more questions? Well, you just go, listen, hey, Kevin, honestly, I'm just not in a position to really answer those questions. I'm really just looking at this myself, or I'm just in training myself. And what I could share really won't do it any justice. If you could just take a look at the video, I know it may be asking a lot, but it only takes 5 minutes. You think you'd just take a look and just give me your thoughts on it? That's going to lead to somebody just going, you know what, no problem. And then what you want to do is just get a specific time. Listen, I'm going to send you the link. Would you prefer I send it to you by text? Would you rather me email it to you? And what time do you think you'll be able to check it out so I can talk to you about it? And get that time. Because if you don't get a time, if you say things like, you know, do you think you'll have a chance to watch it at some point? That some point could be a week from now. You really need to get a time so you can make it a little more valuable, a little more urgent, and this way you can move forward in the process. So get that time from them. That's really, really important. And you just want to modify the script based upon the relationship. So I'm saying the same thing as the script. The script is a guideline to what you want to say. It's to keep you inside the parameters of what works. Because when you start to go outside of the parameters, man, you end up going down a path that makes it difficult to duplicate and difficult to enroll people. But you see that all the time. You'll see people, they'll start to go, well, what's it all about? Well, you know, I'm doing this thing. I just got involved. You know, it's got this credit piece to it, credit restoration. And first of all, you think that everybody knows what that means. You think that everybody knows what you know. So they may not even understand what that means. So you might get somebody who says, what do you mean credit restoration? Well, we can get things off your credit that's on there. No, you can't. How can you do that? Well, you know, from what I understand, you know, there's like legislation and you can, you know, I think you could dispute or they argue it off or something like that. And man, what are you talking about? I mean, that sounds like credit. No, that sounds like illegal or something, man. What are you involved? Are you sure? Have you done your research on this? I tell you, that doesn't even sound legitimate. I mean, listen, I don't know, man. Here's my opinion. I would get out, okay? I would get out. I wouldn't have anything to do with it. And that's what happens to people. You end up in a conversation like that, and you have somebody who didn't see anything going, you got to get out. Why would somebody say that unless you're talking too much? You're telling people too much. You're not equipped. Until you are equipped, you can't be in those conversations. But even worse than that, it's not duplicatable. If somebody says to me, Greg, tell me more about it, I don't do it, even though I'm capable of doing it, because it's not duplicatable. See, that's why I can stop myself. Some of you can't stop yourself. Seriously, you can't stop yourself. You're like, they ask me a question, it's like you're sitting in an interrogation chamber. It's like you're strapped down, you know, in an interrogation chamber and somebody's grilling you. Tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. All right, I can't take it anymore. It's credit restoration. You're not being interrogated. You can't get in a Q&A session with somebody when you're not prepared. You're going to lose. Do you understand? People who are pessimistic, people who are skeptical, people who that's what they do. They pick things apart naturally. Remember we learned earlier today, you're raised to be skeptical. You're raised to find fault with things. That's what, unfortunately, we've been trained to do and programmed to do. So when you're up against somebody who's been trained that way, they're going to win because you're new. You don't have enough confidence. You're not on stable footing yet. So you're talking to these people, and they're nailing you and grilling you, and next thing you know, you're knocked down, and you ain't getting back up. You go, Greg, I don't understand. I sign people up. Man, within a week or two, they're gone. I can't even get in touch with them. That's because they talk too much. They got talked out of it by somebody. That's what happens. You know, I learned in this business that the lifespan of a new agent is about 30 minutes, 30 hours, or 30 days. That's about how long you have to work with an agent. You might say 30 minutes. How could it be 30 minutes? 30 minutes. You do an overview. It's a great overview. You got people excited. You got people signing up. They leave there on fire. And on their way home, they happen to stop by McDonald's because they wanted to grab something quick to eat. And just so happens their friend there happens to be the head French fry guy. So they go into the McDonald's, and who's there? Their friend. And what's he doing? He's standing behind the counter doing his job. She got the hat on, waiting for the buzzer to go off. And you walk in, and you're all pumped up, right? You walk in, you step up to the counter. Oh, my gosh, good to see you. Listen, man, I got something to share with you. I just went to this thing. I just got involved. Man, we're going to fix your credit up, and when you die, you'll be prepared, and you're going to be able to make a fortune. We're going to make so much money with these protection things, and it's amazing. They're giving away Audis. I'm getting mine for sure. And your friend's back there going, what? Are you crazy? What are you talking about, dying and giving credit? Man, man, you don't even have any money yourself. What do you mean? That's why I'm trying to do something. You're trying to do something. That's ridiculous. I hope you didn't give him any money. What? What do you mean by that? Yeah, I paid. I'm paid. I'm going to this training. I'm going to learn from some rich people, something like that. Oh, man, you're an idiot. You've always been an idiot. You're crazy. I hope you can get your money back. No, I wouldn't have nothing to do with that. Get out of here. Do you realize what just happened right there in that 30-minute time frame? 30 minutes, right? You're thinking to yourself, man, I got to get my money back. I'm going to get my money back. And do you realize what that just happened right there? A couple weeks from now, you're going to be standing next to that guy going, man, I'm sure glad I listened to you. Because the French fry guy just became your mentor. That's your coach. That's who you're listening to. All because you're running your mouth. You're running your mouth instead of sticking to the script. That's why you have a script. So you stay within the confines of legitimately what you can do. What you can do. You're new. You can't do a whole lot. You don't have enough answers. You're not educated enough yet. You don't have the experience. Let the script do the work. So you just call somebody, hey, I want to get your opinion on something. Listen, when do you think it take 5 minutes? Just watch a quick video. Love to get your thoughts on it. What is it? Listen, I just took a look at it myself. It would be a whole lot better if you just took a look at the video. Give me your feedback. Or let me ask you, how many people out there today have less than perfect credit? How many people have a tremendous amount of debt? Tons of people. Exactly. That's why I definitely want to get your opinion on this. That's all you got to do. Send them the video. Get a time frame for it. Then we'll talk about follow-up here in a second. If it's a peer, you just go down and you follow the peer script. This is a person who's your friend, right? This is a more closer contact, a family member. You're going to keep it more light. So you're calling somebody up on the phone. If I'm calling Daniel on the phone and he's my friend and somebody I have done things before, I'm just talking to him on that level. I'm not reading a script, right? I'm not in front of the script going, hi, Daniel, it's Greg. You got a quick minute? Listen, comma, I just came across something. Hey, Greg, are you reading a script? You can't read the script. That's why you got to practice. You got to practice. You got to know it inside and out. I'm not sitting there when I'm doing it by script. I know it by heart. You can know it by heart because it ain't that much to learn. See, that's the thing why I laugh. I cannot believe how much money they pay us to do this. It's crazy. It's crazy. I got to memorize this, and they'll pay me $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a week. I just got to memorize this. Isn't that crazy? That's it. You just got to know the scripts inside and out. But if you don't know the scripts, you're not going to sit down with your new people and help them know the scripts. You're not. You're going to give them a script and send them on their way. But if you know the scripts inside and out, you're going to make it so comfortable for somebody else to do. You're going to make it so comfortable for somebody else to do. When I'm working with somebody, I make it so easy for them because I'm able to role play with them, show them how simple it really is. This isn't overcomplicated. We make it overcomplicated. We make it scary for people because we ourselves aren't as prepared as we should be. Now remember, if you're new, you're relying on your upline. You're relying on other people above you to do what I'm talking about. So you don't have to feel like, well, Greg, I've only been in for 2 days, so I'm just learning. Exactly. So it's not on you. It's on your upline to do those things.